Our first guest on the virtual live stage is incoming 2020 NADA Chairman Paul Walser. Paul is the chairman of Walser Automotive Group and served previously as NADA's Industry Relations Committee Chairman.
That's right. Now, Paul got his start in automotive in 1974, selling new vehicles at Towns Edge Ford. Now, today he oversees acquisitions and manufacturer relations for Walser Automotive Group, which was started by his late father, Mr. Jack Walser.
We're proud to welcome Paul Walser to the NADA virtual live stage. Hi, Paul. It's so good to see you.
Nice to see you, Maggie.
You are the incoming NADA chairman for 2021. Let's talk about your vision for NADA and what your focus is for the organization.
Well, I'm a little bit of a presidential historian, and one of my very favorite presidents is James K. Polk. Most people haven't even heard of him. But he had 4 ambitious goals for his one term in office, and then he got all 4 of those things done, and then he died 90 days later. So I'm going to pattern myself after Mr. Polk, with the exception of the dying 90 days later part. I'm going to try to leave that out. But I have kind of 4 primary things I would like to achieve, and they are all centered on the goal of strengthening the franchise system, which is what NADA is all about. So first, and really important, is the transition from Peter Welch as our leader at NADA to our new leader, Mike Stanton. And Peter has been an absolute rock star for 8 years, and I think he was just the right guy for that time. But I also think Mike Stanton is uniquely qualified to be the right guy for the future, and really super excited about working with him. And one of the things I want to have happen is that I want dealers and the ATAEs to know Mike like I know Mike, so that we don't miss a beat here as we move forward. So that's one. 2, I want to work very closely with the Alliance for Automotive Innovation and trying to shape the manufacturer-dealer relationship going forward. I think I've had conversations now with most of the leaders for the OEMs in the last couple of months, and there's a huge appetite for this. So if we get together in the room and we start to talk about what would we do if we had a clean sheet of paper, what would this relationship look like? And we can be talking about what the customer really expects, because that should be the main driver for us. It shouldn't be about what the OEMs want necessarily, or even what the dealers want, but what are the customers looking for? And how do we work together to strengthen the franchise system by looking at it through the customer lens? So that's the second one. Number 3, like so many organizations right now, we have to figure out how to have a more diverse dealer body. And so once again, I think this is a function of working with other organizations, in this case NAMAD as well as the Alliance, to try to come together and solve this problem at its source, which really is, why is it that our efforts to increase minority dealer representation have failed? And to me, we have to solve the problem by making sure that we have more people entering our industry. We have to have training that is in place, and we have to have the resources for them financially to own and be sustainably successful in dealerships. And so I think if we work together, the organizations, we can find a better path that delivers more sustainable results. And finally, I think it's super important that we improve dealer engagement with NADA. One of the remarkable things, Maggie, is that when you become a director, you see things at NADA that you had no idea when you were a dealer and before you got involved in the organization. And NADA does so many things in an extraordinary way, and to be honest with you, based on what I now know today, I wish I could turn the clock back and have made a more significant investment in the organization in days gone by, because it's singularly the best investment dealers can make. And so we have to do a better job as a trade association to get the message out about what it is that NADA can do on behalf of dealers everywhere and get more engagement from them. And that's the 4th goal.
Wow, those are such great goals. And I love your focus on diversity and stressing the importance of NADA as an organization and what NADA can do for its members and for its customers. So those are great ideas, Paul. Let's talk about you having a background as chair of the Industry Relations Committee. And let's talk about why dealer relations with manufacturers are so important, especially right now.
Well, we touched on this a little bit with my four goals, but I would also say, I mean, right now we've got manufacturers building cars and choosing not to use the dealer franchise system. That's a big problem. And so I think the way to solve this, and we can solve this, is to work together to make the franchise system better. And it's not to go to court and to fight. That's not the right way to solve problems. We can solve this thing. We just have to be willing to change and improve. And I've had a lot of conversation, as I mentioned, with some of the leadership from North America for most of the franchises. And right now they are really open to ideas on how we can work together and strengthen the franchise system. So I'm encouraged and excited about that journey.
That's great. And while this is a unique moment in our history, auto dealers have adapted to an awful lot of changes in the past 100 plus years. So let's talk about the importance of adaptation for auto dealers.
Well, as the old saying goes, adapt or die. And I think sometimes it's like we spend too much of our energy and our efforts trying to protect what we have instead of taking that energy and investing in a better way forward. And so I think now is really a critical time for this conversation. And if the more we can put our energy into making the franchise system stronger and better through all of the people that it impacts, the better off we are going to be going forward. So we've got to change. There's a lot of things going on in this world right now. And this is a great time to bring people together collaboratively to make change, to make us more sustainable into the future.
So I'm asking every dealer that I speak with, how has 2020 shaped the way your stores do business?
Well, it's interesting. NADA did a couple extra questions in their summer survey this year, asking dealers across the country what was going to change going forward as a result of the whole COVID experience. And 82% of the dealers in the country indicated that they're going to continue on the path of more focus on digital retailing. My brother and the organization here at Walser did an exceptional job in doing just that. We'd actually been working on it for a while, but I think the digital retailing is a big focus and clearly here to stay.
It's been such a pleasure talking to you, Paul. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
Well, I'm sure a legitimate question on your part would be how are we going to get all this done in the next 12 months? And I just want to express my gratitude for the support system I've got around me. The NADA team these are remarkable people. I've spent a better part of the last month sitting down with every one of them and getting to know them a bit. And these are some of the most dedicated, extraordinary people I've ever seen. And we've got 63 directors, dealers as a part of our board. And these are special guys who really are passionate about this industry and are dedicated and working with no compensation, I might add, and some of the best dealers I've ever met. And we have ATAEs across the country that do great work for the industry. And coincidentally, this next year, the leader of those is Scott Lambert right here from Minnesota. And finally, I think some of the other alliances, the other trade organizations, if we can partner with them, we're stronger together, and we can get a lot done that way too. So I'm going to have a lot of help.
It's great to see the energy and experience that Paul Walser will bring to NADA. We look forward to working with you in 2021, Paul.
We are definitely looking forward to it. And I'll tell you what, I think all of NADA and the Franchise Auto Dealers of America will benefit greatly from having Paul at the helm. So hey, it was great chatting with you, Paul. We'll see you all later.